Great peace, great peace, great peace, Yakoki. So we're going to talk a little bit about psychology and how it's used in warfare. And I'm going to, show my other videos that they're already pre-uploaded that I've done a couple months ago on this subject. Um, you have to know Nirvana when you're facing your enemy, and you also have to know tactics in warfare as it relates to ground tactical and also air tactical um, when you're facing your enemy. Um, Psychology, right? When a person sees the need to uh, waste your time, through information sharing or neglect or abuse to the point where it supersedes emotional wear. Um, when a person is judging the fact and cooperating with the opinion, um, you have to look at that and say, are you is this curated? You know what I mean? Like you have to see if it's curated. Because a lot of the times, they're getting intel from other countries. You know what I mean? France and the Lenape, they were good at this during the French Indian Wars. That came down from Canada. They were pretty good at this. They almost defeated uh, the African tribe near the Halasante. So that are, again, they're indigent. They're indigent to Canada. So again, when you look at the obvious, right? When you see a person who is uh, hiding their flaws, you know, this person, they appear perfect, right? They appear perfect, like they have a 60-inch vertical leap, right? They appear perfect. This is what you have to understand something. False weights. False weights and measures are such as do not comply with the standard prescribed by the state or government. So it's not prescribed. Or with the custom prevailing in the place and business in which they're used. And again, this citation, right? This bracket. 7 American and English enclosed law. Why is the Americans working with the English? Why did the English have to leave the American societies? You see what I mean? Me gladly, right? In my perjury, right? I would look at that and say, don't be calm to the fact how a person announces themselves. When a person is uh, courting with, war, or they're courting with decisiveness and poor decision, where they see one prototype as an enemy and they see another prototype as, on board, which means they have to tally them or teach them how to do things. And they see another person as neutral, like meaning they haven't taken oath, then the prior sense is that, it's di dolo malo, it's based on fraud, you know. And people, they do this, right, because there's not Saxon law in America. You know what I mean? The judges bench, they're not administrating Saxon law. So a lot of people know that they can get away with heresy, they can get away with treason, they can get away with convicting others, appearing as something that would kind of lead you to a sense, you know what I mean, that I really want to touch on. I don't really want to touch on it. But, I'm going to read one more thing, and I'm going to go ahead and close out with 4 minutes in, so 5 minutes. Junior creditor, one who claim or demand accrued at a date posterior to that of a claim or demand held by another creditor. So a junior creditor, which means what are they going to do after they become a junior? You know, they become a senior, right? So this means that they have to start to money the checks different. You know what I mean? They have to check their checks and balances. You know what I mean? So if a person says something in the past, you know, where it kind of led to, you know, a bad conscience in the present, you know, this means they're probably going to resign, you know. So when a person resigns, remember, you know, that is in factual evidence on not only their part, but their community. You know what I mean? So keep faith, stay brave, and always stay valor. Great peace, Yakoki.